guys, it is me, Jacqueline. For today's video, I have the reader book tag, or the I am the reader book tag, and this book tag was actually inspired by the book The Reader by Traci Chee. If you haven't heard of this book, this is a YA debut fantasy novel that is coming out on September 13th. It's about a girl who lives in a world where reading is extinct, and so because of that, Penguin decided to make this book tag to celebrate reading. I'm so excited to not only read this book soon, but to do this book tag, so let's get started. Question number 1 is to choose one word to describe being a reader. That is so hard. I'm going to say inspiring, just because I feel like I learn something new every time I pick up a different book. Even though I do read certain books for entertainment purposes, a lot of the time certain books will sort of open up my eyes to different aspects or different beliefs or different thoughts, and I think that's amazing how I could just read a book and it sort of changes the way I view life. So I'm going to say inspiring because I do feel like I get inspired by books every day. Question number 2 is, what's the very first book you fell in love with? If you have seen my reading journey video or how I got into reading video, that is an easy one for me, and it has to be Twilight. That's the first book I ever read, and if it wasn't for that book, I wouldn't be here on BookTube and I wouldn't be reading in general. Question number 3 is hardback or paperback. If I had to choose between a standard paperback book and a hardback book, I will have to choose the hardback book. But if we're talking about a floppy paperback book, floppy paperback wins every single time. But as you can see, I actually do have majority hardcover books, because not only do I like reading with hardcover books, I prefer having these on my shelves just because they're more sturdy, I guess, which sounds really weird, but I don't know, I've always preferred hardbacks over regular paperbacks, but I do have to say reading with a floppy paperback book is amazing. Question number 4 is, how has reading shaped your identity? And honestly, this is going to be so cheesy to say, but I don't think I would be the same person today if it wasn't for reading. Reading has just impacted my life in such a positive way that I can't imagine it not being in my life. There was a long period of time where I didn't read at all, and I think it is so insane to even think that, because look at me now. If it wasn't for reading, I wouldn't be here on BookTube. I wouldn't have all these books behind me. Like I said, reading inspires me, and yet again, I just could not imagine who I would be today if it wasn't for reading. Question number 5 is, what books do you read when you need to be comforted? And I have to say, my ultimate favorite books. I love rereading my favorites just because they are my favorites for a reason. They instantly brighten my mood, whether it's the Lux series or the Mortal Instruments series. It is just so easy for me to get into my favorites, and I find when I do reread them, I learn something new each time. I have reread so many of my books. I love rereading books, and I find that when I do reread books, I get a lot more out of them. Question number 6 is, who taught you to read? I have to say my parents and my special ed teachers. If you don't know, when I was younger, I suffered from really bad hearing problems, and so I had to take special ed classes to really help with my communicating abilities, and that's reading, writing, speaking, everything like that. So not only did my parents help me so much in life when it came to reading, but these actual special ed teachers, specifically this one teacher that I was with from 1st grade to 5th grade, really helped me so much. I cannot thank them enough. I actually still think about this teacher, and I saw her the other day and it was just so amazing to see her. She is just someone that really impacted my life in such a positive way. I'm not going to say her name for privacy reasons, but I cannot thank her enough. Question number 7 is to describe your dream reading lounge. I would love to have a place by my window, and I would love it to be sort of like the mattress, like my bed, because I love reading on my bed because it's so comfy, and there would have to be a ton of pillows because I love pillows. The final question is, what book changed the way you act or see the world? And for that, I have to pick 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher. This was one of the first books I actually read. I read this in 6th grade, and I have such a strong love for this book because it did teach me such a valuable lesson. The lesson I learned from this book is my actions could have a big impact on someone's life, whether positive or negative. I could see someone on the street and they might look okay, but on the inside they might not be okay. They might be dealing with things and they're screaming for help. And because of this book, I always try to spread positivity and be as kind as I can, because like I said, you never know what someone's dealing with, and just simply giving them a smile or holding the door for them can make such a big difference in their day. So that was the reader tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to leave the questions down below in the description box because I tag whoever is watching this video to do this tag. tag. It is such a wonderful tag. Also, don't forget to check out the reader when it comes out on September 13th. I cannot wait to read this book, guys. It sounds amazing. Anyway, that is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down below in the comment section what you thought of it, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!